First time I heard about this trip was I was at a Bison's game with my family, and Brandon and Ryan produced this envelope letter with a beautiful note inside telling me how much they loved me, which was great, and then also a trip of a lifetime that I had been talking about for probably a few years now, and they were able to make that trip come true. And probably, honestly, if they didn't put this together and make it happen, I probably would have never went because I would have just kept pushing it off, finding an excuse. So for them to put me over the edge, so to speak, it was unbelievable, and I'm glad I did it. Thinking about doing it next year on my own, actually. So once I got on the road, once I started and thought about where I'm going and what I'm doing, it was incredibly exciting to me. And plus, the way they set it up, my sons, that everything was close by within walking distance of either the hotel or even the bed and breakfast, that it made it incredibly convenient to not only enjoy the events, but enjoy being there and not having to try to navigate through traffic or not knowing where I'm going or anything. Once I got to where I needed to be, it was like, see out the door, that's where you go. So it was great. Listening to a song called Gridlock, and I'm stuck in a gridlock. Got in a hotel, which is beautiful, and when I got there, pulled in the parking lot, and the hotel was here, and the stadium was right there. So I was like blown away by that. Now, I had been to this stadium before a year or two ago with Mary Lou and her father, and it was a great experience, loved it. Beautiful stadium, beautiful seats. I think I was 7 or 8 rows from the field, and by being that close, I could hear people talking, the players in the batter circle, and pitchers and all kinds of things. So it was, the only problem was they lost. I think it was 13-4. But what was exciting is first player got up for the opposing team, hit a home run. First pitch, boom, hit a home run, which was not good. But then at the bottom half of the inning, our guy got up, first pitch, hit a home run. So I was like, this is going to be great. But they ended up winning 13-4. So, but it was still a great experience to be at the ballpark. Loved it, got some swag, and it was great. So after the game, stayed overnight, got up, checked out, left there, and it was only like 45 minutes to Canton. So it was a short drive day, which was great, which gave me a lot more time to be at the Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, which was phenomenal. I had been there when I was 8 years old, and now I'm 66, so it was kind of neat to be going there, that much time, 56 years later or whatever. And so got there, and the place had grown incredibly. I mean, when I was there, it was just one small building. Now it's like 4 or 5. So I spent at least 4 hours in there just walking around and looking at all the memorabilia, which I love, looking at my favorite players, Gale Sayers, all the Buffalo Bills. I took a picture of each of the busts of the Buffalo Bills, went to a few discussions or presentations that they had. I learned a couple of things which I thought was pretty cool. One is that the field used to be 110 yards long with a 55-yard line, and that was because there was no end zones, because the forward pass wasn't legal then, back in the 30s or whatever, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And then I also saw the evolution of the football and why it was called Duke, and the guy who made it so that it was called the Duke. But also, which was nice, is I saw my favorite player was Gale Sayers, and his bust was there and his picture was there, so I took pictures of that. But all of my favorite players, I got to see their game-worn uniforms. But now that I think about it, the favorite thing that I liked was that Josh Allen's uniform is in the Hall of Fame from last year because he was MVP. So that's why that was probably the best. I didn't expect that, but then I was like, wow, there's Josh. So when I drove from Canton down to Cincinnati, the first thing I went to was the Cincinnati Open, the night session. And I had been to a tennis tournament a professional tennis tournament in Toronto several times, and I also been to the U.S. Open in New York City. But I thought that this was going to be a smaller tournament, a smaller venue that had not many courts, not many practice courts, kind of like Toronto. And when I got there, it was very eye-opening. It was huge. They had done a $285 million renovation project the past couple of years, and it was as big as the U.S. Open as far as number of courts and the amenities and all of the things that they had there. It was top shelf. It was great. It took you a good hour to get around, but I got to see Coco Gauff, who's a good player, and I also got to see Zverev, who's a good player, played Ben Shelton. So it was really nice, and it was a nice atmosphere. I sat next to a gentleman who told me a lot about Cincinnati and things, so I had a really good time at the night session. So the next day was a day session, and the day session has a lot more players out playing and practicing. So I got to go around. The night session, I stayed pretty much in the main stadium because that's the only action that was going on as far as tennis. But during the day session, you can walk around and many players are practicing. Many of the top players are practicing, and you can get within 5-10 feet of them if you really try. So I took a lot of pictures and all of that. But I saw my favorites. Sinner's my favorite, to talk about in a second. But Alcaraz, Belinda Bencic, Daniel Medvedev, all these players that you see on TV, and then all of a sudden you're like right there. And the quality of the tennis is just phenomenal. If you're a tennis player and you see these guys play, you realize just how great they are. Because it's kind of something that's hidden on TV, you can't really see it. But the best thing that happened during the day session, at Sinner's practice, I was at Sinner's practice, and there was tons of people there because he's the #1 player in the world. He comes walking out, and all of a sudden somebody yells out, "Happy birthday." And I was like, oh, that's cool. His birthday must be around this time, And then all of a sudden the crowd broke out into a happy birthday song to Jannik Sinner. And he acknowledged the crowd and stuff like that. The funny thing was, I didn't know this, is that his birthday was the same day as my birthday, which was that day. So when they started singing, I thought, they're singing to me. No, they were singing to him. So it was kind of fun. It was very, I had to look it up. I go, look at that. He's got the same birthday I do, August 16th.
What
so
an incredible coincidence.
Yeah, it was amazing that I happened to be there at his practice when they sang it. To know, I could have been someplace else in the entire facility. It was, it's so big. I do have to tell you this, that Cincinnati in August is the hottest place that I've ever been in my life. It was 91, and I think it felt like 96 according to the weather. So I had to leave Cincinnati Open to go to the Cincinnati Reds game. And going to the game, I was like, oh my gosh. I had to drive downtown to get to the hotel. I get there, and I check in, and I go to my room, and it's beautiful. Wonder whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, Cincinnati, WKR.
Got kind of tired packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Maybe you and me were never meant to be, just maybe think of me once in a while.
I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati. Beautiful. And so, but I'm looking out the window, and I can't see the stadium. I don't know where, out of my window from my hotel. So I go down, I'm ready to go to the game. I know it's pretty close. I don't think I have to drive there. So I go down and I go to the desk, I go, how do you get to the stadium from here? He goes, see that door there? Go out that door, it's across the street. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go out the door, and it's like, right across the street, it's like 20 feet away was the stadium. And so it was great. I walked in there, got a free hat, got to my seat, 3 rows from the field, behind the dugout. Talk about hearing people talk. You could hear the manager talking to the players, you could hear the pitcher talking to the manager, you could see the guys in batting circle. It was phenomenal. Unfortunately, again, that must be bad luck for these teams. They lost in extra innings to who they play? They played the Milwaukee Brewers, which was the #1 team in baseball at the time. So, but again, great experience, great ballpark. Took lots of pictures, got some swag, had a great time. It was this phenomenal experience. Again, you know, thinking about the Cleveland game, then the Football Hall of Fame, and then the Cincinnati Reds game, then the Cincinnati Open. I was pretty pumped. But again, I was apprehensive about going to this bed and breakfast, leaving Cincinnati, driving halfway, and going to a bed and breakfast in the middle of a state park. How nice or how good could it be? And it was the best place to stay. I would have stayed again. If I ever go again, I will stay there because it was just beautiful and the host was just super nice. And met some people from Cleveland and the surrounding area, and at breakfast, and had a nice conversation talking about sports and things, and had a nice walk, walking around the park, saw a nice waterfall. Well, the biggest thing that I learned on a trip, and I do have something that I did learn that I expressed to Mary Lou, is we need to take trips more, and that it's a big, wide world out there, and that there's a lot to see, and that by staying in your little comfort zone sometimes is, most of the time, not good. It's good to stretch out, and that's one of the things that I learned is like I said, I was apprehensive about going, and then once I went, it was phenomenal. Just to probably get out there more and do different things and talk to different people, and you learn a lot that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. Any parting words to close it out?
Yes, I can't thank my sons enough for this trip. For them to do this for me means the world to me, that they would even think to do it and then put it all together, and I didn't have a worry in the world on the whole thing because everything was taken care of. It was you know, the time of my life, except for when they were little and we hung out. That was even better. But other than that, I can't thank them enough. I love them deeply, and that I'll never ever forget it. Good. Oh, hey, I'm a little sweaty, but
It's all right. I love you, man.
I love you too, man. Thank you so much. It was the best.